Thanks for watching Hindsight 101. Click the subscribe button and select the notification bell to stay up to date. Gone are the days where you only had to remember one or two passwords. Now you have to remember a plethora of passwords, and it's like a full-time job. So I'm here to tell you about the importance of a password manager. So stay tuned. Hello, I'm Derrick, and welcome to Hindsight 101, where you'll learn about things that will help you in everyday life. Now, before we get to it, PureVPN is a VPN service. If you don't know what that is, Google it, or I'll have a later video talking about that in full detail. But they reached out to me to do a review on their product. So I thought, might as well be a good time to talk about internet security. So I'm going to do a series of videos. This is going to be one of a few, and then my final video will be on a review of what I thought of PureVPN and their service. So stay tuned to that. But now, let's talk about password managers. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'll give you a little secret on how to get some of these for free or at a good discount. A password manager is basically that. It manages your password. But the good thing about it is it's very secure. They use a high level of encryption in order to keep hackers away from your password. Nothing is purely unhackable, but they make it very hard for it to work. So what you have to do is you have a main password that you have to remember, and then all your other passwords are encrypted. And when you log in, either on your computer or on your phone, you can log into any site that you want, and all you have to remember is just that one password instead of many passwords. It's also good for a whole list of features, which I'm going to talk about. I personally use RoboForm. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not getting paid to sponsor them, but I got a really good deal on it, and I just haven't had a need to switch. So that's the only reason why I keep them around now. But there are so many password managers you can choose from. I'll actually link them below so you can investigate them for yourself. I'm not going to give you an in-depth review on every one of these password managers. Why? Because they're always changing. What I tell you now, in a month from now, they could upgrade and offer more service, or their prices could change. So you're going to have to discover that on your own. I just want to tell you kind of the features that are offered and what you should look for if that interests you. So the first one is password sharing. A lot of these password managers will let you share passwords. So for me, I have it set up that if something happens to me, that my wife would get access to all my passwords. And it's a secure way of doing it instead of writing it down or emailing it and saying, here's my password. They do it a little more securely. So that's one feature you might want to look for if that's something you're interested in. Next, a lot of them give reports on the strength of your password, and they'll tell you ways to improve your password, or they'll just make a new password for you if that's what you want. The good thing about some of these sites is they'll actually update your password for you right through the website. Now, the bad part about that is I've looked into it, and it's really not all that cracked up to be. A lot of the sites that they do that for, you may or may not ever use. So it's kind of a pointless feature. So I'd say it wouldn't be one of my top 5 unless it gets better over time and they cover a lot more sites. Also, you want to check to make sure it's compatible with your operating system, whether it be Windows, Mac, because some of these don't work with Macs or Linux, or with your operating system for your cell phone. The big ones are iPhone and Android. There's also Windows, and then if some of you are still using BlackBerry, so you need to make sure that whatever one you go with supports all of your ecosystem, so not one device is missing out because it's not supported. It's worked with everything that I've needed it for, so I'm happy. So, and a lot of them do this, but this is something you want to look for in case you're curious how it works. It ties into your browser. So what happens if you go to a site, type in your password, it will pop up and say, do you want to save this password and login? And that's where you would save your password and login into this password manager. Kind of like how you do now with your browser, if some of you have done that, but it's 10 times more secure. Granted, I'm pulling that number out of nowhere, but it's more secure than using a browser. Your browser is, to get to those passwords, it's a lot easier for a hacker to get to that than it would be going through and trying to hack into the password manager. Speaking of that, hacking and passwords, make sure you remember your password, because if you lose it, a lot of these password managers can't retrieve it for you. They purposely do that so no one, not even them, have access to your information. So if something ever happened, whether they got hacked or they had a shady employee, they could not get to your information because it's that encrypted. And there's a big debate on whether your password manager should be linked to the cloud, say like a Dropbox, or if it should be linked to that company's server, whichever one you use, RoboForm, LastPass, whatever. And that's a big debate. To me, it's all the same. It's all out there in the ether, and someone can get to it if they really want to. But like I said, either way you do it, they're both encrypted. If it gets saved to Dropbox, then that file's encrypted. So if someone opened the file, they couldn't really read it or understand what it was. But also, if you send it to the company's servers, it's encrypted there as well. The reason why some password managers use the cloud is because they want to make it accessible everywhere. So if you put it, it'll upload to Dropbox and say you're on this computer or another or on your phone, it'll reach out to Dropbox asking for that file that it saved so it can get the password it needs. Some of these password managers also offer from there, you have to access their server, but then they'll retrieve the password for you. So it all depends on your preference and what makes you feel more secure. The other benefit you want to make sure you get is it's not just a password manager, it also keeps track of your credit cards, filling forms. So let's say you want to order a pizza and ask you for your name, your address, and your credit card. It'll put all that information in for you if you save it into your password manager. So you don't have to keep filling those in. It recognizes what's the address field, the name field, and just pops those in for you. You could save a lot of information in your password manager. That's a really nice feature. Next, I want to talk about internet browser. No matter which browser you use, you want to make sure your password manager integrates well with that browser. So what happens is most of these password managers, you would download an application to your desktop and you can work through it there. But you can also get a plugin for different browsers, say Chrome, Firefox, whatever you use, and it'll work out of your browser. Because like for me, I only have the application installed on my main PC, not every PC I have in my house. Plus, I like to use it at work. I don't have admin rights to download software to my PC at work, but I can download plugins into that browser, and that's allowed at my job. So I can still have access to my password manager, even though I don't have the full application downloaded onto that PC. So make sure that whichever one you choose, it works with your browser. So, like I said, I promised you a little tip. You want to find out about discounts, whether they give a military discount or a college discount. I know with RoboForm, they gave me a college discount, so I was able to get a couple years for free through that program. So, and then I just stuck with it after that. So make sure you look into it so you can get the best deal you can, because all these different password managers do range in price, but they also range in feature and ease of use. Take care. Thanks for watching.